That boy who used to spend days in the garage with only his imagination and a couple hand tools has gotten lost in the grind of the real world. I think it's time we find him. Today's woodworking project is another amazing scrap wood idea, and we're going to do it without any nails or screws. When I was a kid, my little brother always got the coolest gifts, birthdays and holiday, and today I'm going to be taking one of my all-time favorites and we're amping it up. We're doing it from scrap wood, and if all goes well, I won't lose an eye or bust a window, and I hopefully will get my giggle on. We're going pine, no shock there. I use what I have and as little of that as I can. Waste not, want not. I need roughly 20 inches. I think 1x6-ish will work, and 10 to 12 inches in the 1x4 department. And hopefully no pith to wreak havoc on the project this time around. Now, I keep going back to the same boards, hoping they grew. If only it worked that way. I think I can rip this 2x6 in half, and the matching bookend will be a nice, cool addition. Although, no one's going to notice it but me in the end. And we'll do the same for the 2x4. Table saw comes out and that double high feather board is still attached from the Intarsia project from Wednesday. And then I remember we need to cut the 2x6 to 10 inches. There's no need to rip the whole thing. Who knows when we'll need a chunk of the 2x6 down the road. This is our fourth build in the series, and I'm sad. Honestly, I'm loving this series far more than I thought. If you are too, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel so much. Thank you. Done. We slide the fence over on the table saw and measure carefully to get right in the middle to avoid excess sanding and planing. Then it's rip, raise the blade, rip, lower the blade, flip, rip, and rip again. I think we got an extra rip in there this time, but it came out perfectly. Then we repeat for the 2x4. And honestly, table saws are amazing for this type of thing. Without it, I'm buying wood. And drum roll, please. I haven't bought any wood since I started this channel. 60 odd videos ago. Only a couple of dowels. All right, I'm digging it. Slide across the 4 pieces and we're smooth like Santana and Rob Thomas. So I want to cut this triangle thingy. I'm thinking it's going to be a little lopsided also, pointed one direction. And that's pretty good. Now, I need to find out my angles. And every time I do this, I swear, I try like 20 different ways before I finally get it to pivot right. I think we're roughly 48 and 38 degrees. We'll go to the miter saw, drop the blade and double check. And yeah, not bad, 37 degrees. Now, it won't cut all the way through, of course. She's old, she cuts well, but just not long enough. Slide the miter to the other side. And I can't get 48, but it does slide just past 45. So let's call it 46.5 degrees, and it'll have to work. And then it dawns on me. I can turn the board and cut the other side. Yeah, not sure what I was thinking, but was thinking I might have to flip the board over to do it or maybe cut it by hand, but no. Sometimes my brain works in mysterious ways and other times it just doesn't work. I clean it all up at the Wen. The benchtop sander makes quick work of it, 120 grit. Hit the points up for a nice little curve on them all. Now back at the bench, I trace the other one and then repeat the cuts and sand it all down. And I made my first mistake. See, I cut the angle going the wrong way. I wanted the curved edges of the 1x6 on the outside, and now I have one on the inside. I'm not thrilled with this. It's just with a straight edge, the bond will be so much stronger. Now it's got that little bit of curl in it. Reluctantly, I push on though. And before you ask if it's a napkin holder, no, it's not. But if it's not careful, it just might be by the end of this video. I want to put a couple strips along the bottom. So I hit up the scrap bin for an assortment of odds and ends. Not sure anyone really says that anymore, odds and ends. I feel it was a grandfather type thing. After trying a few, I find a likely piece, chop it to size, and yeah, I'm liking this. It's spared from being a napkin holder another day. We're going to round that over to get that in there. Morning comes and I decided I can't live with the round edges after all. I did the math a million times in my sleep last night and I decided to rip the roundovers off. All of them. That's the one issue of ripping 2x stock to 1x, the darn roundovers. All right, now I need to drill some holes here. I toyed with, yeah, bad pun intended, with trying one of those square thingamajigs or whatchamacallits, the mortise hole thing. Thought it might tie into the legs we made, but in the end I went with dowels. I drill a practice hole and test fit. We want it snug as a bug, and then I commit. I break out red. You can drill by hand, but I'm not accurate, so I use the drill press. And with the backer board in place, I drill through both pieces at once, hoping for a nice, tight, straight fit. I round over all the edges of the triangles. For some reason, I left the back pointy. It shouldn't matter, and at the time, I thought it was a great design call. I'm not so sure now, though. Then match the roundover to the 1x4 stock in the middle. In the intro, I said no nails or screws. I'm beginning to regret this now. This would be so easy. Some glue and nail it, but we'll continue along with dowel joinery. You don't have to. Nail, screws, whatever you want. It's pretty straightforward. Drill down through the triangle into the base, plug the hole with a pen, then do the second hole. Tight bond 3 and pound the dowels in. Flip and repeat. Then flush cut. Clamp it, wipe the glue, and let her dry. Now, for the legs underneath this thing, I want to give the ends a hand-chiseled look, like the old days. I know the easiest thing to do is just sand it all down, but it's those little details that we can add that level the piece up. You can see here with my wild and crazy markings what I'm going to do. I think I can do it with the sander without issue. A chisel might be the better choice, but I'm going to sand it. Now my fingers are nearly numb at this point because it is cold and we have the hardest part left, the 1x4 piece. I have a series of curves I want to add to it. First, I bring it in 1/4 inch on each side. And I think the Tight Bond 3 bottle here will make a great circle on top. Perfect size, actually. Come up 2 inches from the bottom. 3/4 inches from our new sides. Take the tape roll and use the curve to connect it all. Now, I want an indent in the center of this. Any guesses at this point? You know what it is? Napkin holder and matching spoon? No. Small shop living. One cleanish bench, miter saw, drill press, and sander all sharing it. You have to love it. No, you don't have to, but you do have to put up with it. It's what we got this winter. We drill down a little, say 1/4 inch, maybe a touch more, just going by feel. Off camera, you can see I ripped the board down on each side, cut a couple miters in the corner around the circle part, and I probably should cut closer to the curvy lines, but really, I can't stand the thought of dragging a 4th tool out right now, so I just sander. The 6-inch pad curls around the circle nicely. The bench top cuts right into the other curves. Now, it's just a matter of putting it all together. I estimate what size I want the big spoon to be, then drill a hole through it. I for sure use a drill press to get it straight. I go one size wider than the dowel so it can spin on the lower dowel. I sand the edges of the handle over, then push the dowel through, adding some glue at the end before it goes in the hole, then flush cut to the sides. Now, the top dowel, I want it longer and to stick out on each side, 1/2 inch or so. Takes a little bit of persuasion. I have to pound it in, but I want it tight anyways. And that's probably perfect. It's actually 3/4 inches on each side. Now, I also want to put a little notch on each end. And here we are, crossbows and catapults. Back in the day, we played that game to the extreme. Doubled the rubber bands for power, elevated the crossbows making ramps so the shells could slam into the walls of the block fortresses our army men hid behind. Oh, we were vicious. I'm going to slap a couple coats of poly on this and call it a day. Who are we kidding? I'm going to be out here all night flinging stuff across the room and finding out how many rubber bands this can take. I hope I inspired you to get out and build something today. Catapult, trebuchet, anything. As always, thank you for watching and choosing to spend 15 minutes building with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything and everything. Until the next time.